Hello, everybody. How are we doing? Um, yeah, Ben is really thirsty, so you can probably hear some bunnies chatting in the background. Apart from that, everything's fine and wholesome. Let's move that down a little bit. Let's just put it right at the bottom board. There we go. Perfect. All right then. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another review. Just to make sure that everyone can hear me, there we go. Mic should be fine. Um, Today we are doing our top 8 game. I was panicking a little bit and wondering whether or not I should do the top 4 and final earlier, just in case it disappeared off FFG's Twitch, but they've been wholesome human beings and they've uploaded it onto the YouTube channel, which is great. So that's going to be there forever for me to watch and just dribble over. But we'll get to those later. I'm hoping that Gold Squadron hurries up and gets the Nathan ID game onto the upload. I appreciate that they have a lot of games to upload. They were streaming for 3 solid days with 3 tables over 7 rounds each day. So that's a lot of games. That's an awful lot of games. So yeah, hopefully at some point they should get those up. They've finally got the Marcel Manzano game online, Duncan versus Marcel, in the top 32. Honestly, I think that was probably the best game of the entire weekend, so you guys should totally go and watch that. Really, really close all the way through, and I'm just hoping at some point that they get up the they get up my one. They will do at some point. I know that. I'm just being impatient. It's totally fine. Anyway, let's get on with this one. We've kind of joined midway through, it seems. Yeah, we've joined midway through after the first round. So let me just talk you through asteroids and everything else and what's going on, and then we can go from there. Hey Anna, good to see you. So yeah, the looking through the asteroids. Who placed first rock here? I had the initiative, so Bartosz would have placed the first asteroid. I believe he went dead in the center. The next asteroid that I placed was this one over here, because I don't want the A-Wings to be able to come down the flanks too hard. At which point he placed this one over here. I then popped, I believe, this one down there, because I'm providing basically a barrier for myself. What I want here is that if all the A-Wings decide they're going to cruise around a corner, then this stops them from easily coming around the side. If they come around this way, I can set up over here and I have a barrier to protect me from all of those A-Wing shots. At which point I think this one was Bartosz's last asteroid. Just making the little triangle of doom around this way that he can fly around, and his A-Wings are super maneuverable, so he can use that for his advantages. I placed this one over here to make sure that I block off the easy access through this and to basically create my little wall of asteroids that I'm going to hide behind for this game. At which point he put the 2 initiative ones over here, probably trying to tempt me into deploying on the opposite side. I absolutely fine with deploying alongside the initiative ones. 3 went in the middle, so he had the that one, that one, that one, and then these 2 on this side. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with deploying over here. So I did my standard deployment. Inquisitor started off here, Whisper started off here, Vader started off there. And for the first moves, these little initiative ones turned away and barrel rolled. Hey, good to see you. So yeah, they turned away, barrel rolled backwards, basically just in case Vader's going to fight forward, being aggressive. The Zari did a little 2 bank over here, and then these 2 with the crack shots. We have Tally and we have Greer. Both of them have cracks. They went 5 forwards and did a little boost, not stressing themselves out. Just come over this way. So Bartosz has already given himself a nice, easy flank opportunity. Inquisitor, predicting the fact that these would zoom straight at him because he's only 1 ship, did a 5 forwards and a boost, getting himself nice and tight together with his buddies. Whispered 2 bank, and Vader this time only did the 1 forwards. Against a list like this, I'm not actually trying to split. I want to present a wall of firepower. That means that if all of my 3 ships get a good shot on an A-wing, I can hopefully initiative kill it and do nasty things to it before it shoots me back. So, what I'm going to do is I need to turn the volume off. There we go. You've got Ben Lee commentating on this, who you can't see. You can just see the edge of Matt's face here. But you have Ben Lee, you have Finlayson, and I think is that Gisley? It's very fuzzy, can't quite see. But yeah, you've got one of the Icelandic guys commentating on this as well. So again, watch the X-Wing Junkies version 2 because it's always nice to see some good commentary. I'm really sad if I just hide the chat for a second. There's a Snickers on the bottom left. Someone bought it for me. I never ate it. It got stolen off the side of the table. I want a Snickers. I'm hungry. Sad times. Anyway, on to moves. This is a grudge match. This game... there we go. So, yeah, I mean, basically... This game is revenge for me for the top 16 UK nationals. Bartosz flying this list, except with Lulo instead before the points changes, knocked me out of UK nationals with my fangs. He also knocked out 3 of my other squad mates in the UK nationals. He won that event, had a very good run, and he's doing exactly the same here. He is an absolute monster with these A-wings. He's very good at flying them. Really good pilot in general. He's one of the best in Europe. And I knew I was going to hit him at some point. Yeah, as you say, Ben's commentary was very good. Yeah, Ben's commentary is very good. So Bartosz here, he's very good at keeping all of his A-wings on target. You can see the trap is coming in. He's already trying to set up around this area. This is where he wants the first engagement to be. So he's already provided a load of firing lanes, 2 bank and a boost. We'll put him right there. These A-wings can come around hard, and that's bad for me. So learning from my previous game against him, I knew that these guys wouldn't continue to run away, the little initiative ones. They quite like turning in. So I needed to threaten some of that. So I wanted to go slow at the start. Do I feel like the 5As are a challenging matchup? I think they're a challenging matchup for any list. The thing is, with these 2 lists that you see on the table, obviously my Imperial Aces and the A-Wings, they're very good all-comers lists. They can kill everything, but it comes down to pilot skill on how they do against most lists. Because of that, it's always a hard game with them. It's always a hard game against them. Against a very good pilot like Bartosz, this is a very hard game. The good news is I managed to get a lot of practice against this variant. There's a few people in the 186, Alex Burt, James Dowdall, Conor McNamara. They've all been flying this. And yeah, especially James and Alex. I've had a lot of practice against them. Haven't managed to get too much practice against Conor because he's hasn't been in my local area too recently. But yeah, James playing against James Dowdall was the reason that I changed my deployment, that I put Inky over here, because originally I had all 3 of my ships set up in the same place, and he just came in a massive block and jumped me. And after that game, it was like, it's too hard. I need a way to beat these things. Splitting up at the start forced the A-wings to split up and allowed me to get a better deployment incoming. So what I'm thinking of here is the A-wings can turn in over here. You can see Bartosz has already set his dials. He knows what he's doing. These guys can do 2 things. They can either go away over here, they can either come, or they can come in over here. We can have a collapse in the middle, or we could actually have just a mass turn away. A 3 hard and a boost around this asteroid, or a 1 hard and a boost down here. Means that all of these A-wings can just choose to not commit at all. You have to completely play your opponent here. You're not playing the list. You need to judge what he's going to do, and obviously playing against someone like Bartosz, it's very difficult to do that. The reason Vader went 5 forward on the second turn is to stop these guys coming in. Right now, I've got a wall of firepower. Even if these A-wings come in over here, if these guys come in and I fully commit to them, Bartosz is probably going to lose an A-wing before it fires and not get enough firepower back. So the likelihood of these guys coming in, committing hard, was unlikely. It did seem that there was an option of doing a couple of hard ones and just sitting there. However, Vader against 2 little A-wings, I like that bet. So there we go. Also, if anyone's interested, the X-Wing Junkies has a little bet system that goes on every game to see who the viewership thinks will win this game. This one was a dead tie, 50-50, which I think is actually a really good outcome. That's what I was expecting. The fact that this is basically a 50-50 roll of a dice, who wins this game. Not so much down to dice, but who gets a slightly better engage, who gets a slightly better flying. And with the A-Wings, dice is always going to come into account. Most of the ships on the board have 3 agility dice. It might just be the case of whose dice crap out first wins. Because of that, the player with more shots on target will probably win the game. So if you can get consistent firepower, then you're probably going to win against the A-Wings. That's something that the A-Wings are really good at, is time on target. So what you have to do is you have to beat them at their own game. You have to make sure that you get more shots, effective shots, than they do. Their shots are only 2 dice. So if you're getting lots of fully modified 4 dice shots against the A-Wings, even though there's 5 of them, a couple of fully modified 4 dice shots can do just as much damage. And you can basically win the damage trade. It's a funny one, the A-Wing list. I like to describe it as a damage race. That's what it feels like. Anyway, so as you can see here, Bartosz decided to not commit at all. He came around the asteroid. Hard 3. Probably the boost away. It just decides to sit there. There we go. Oh no, boost in. He's seen that Whisper's decloaked that way, and he wants to threaten. Zari is amazing because she can do 3 actions a turn. She can rotate her up for free and then do the focus and the boost. Tally here has got the focus, does the boost with the stress. That is an amazing stress token. It's a salt shaker. So good. So yeah, Bartosz, you can see, as I said, he wants the engagement to happen around here. He might be hoping to catch the Inquisitor if these guys are going to zoom off around this way. Whisper decided to do a hard 2 because Vader was kind of in the way, didn't want to risk the hard 1, but also wanted a bit of distance. If there was a risk of these ships coming in, then taking a long range pot shot with Whisper is always a good shout. Thinking here about positioning versus target locks, it's very close to see whether this shot is in range. I might be able to get a shot. If I do, nice. I mean, it's 3 against 4. He's got a focus. Likelihood of me doing damage is low, but the A-Wing can blank out. Trying Vinder instead of Grand Inquisitor, Dom. Interesting. Or Nick, or whichever one. Probably Nick. But yeah, trying Vinder instead of Grand Inquisitor. Always nice. So yeah, what I'm thinking about here is, do I barrel roll either way, or do I target lock? In the end, I decide to barrel roll. Doing a barrel roll up this way is nice because it gives me 2 decloak options. I can go 2 decloak that way, 2 decloak that way, and basically means that Bartosz isn't exactly sure where Whisper is going to end up. Grand Inquisitor coming in here, it's okay. Could have done the hard 1, but I wasn't sure if he was going to hard commit down here. If I do the hard 1, I'm stuck going this way. I think a 3 bank would probably have been a better move. But again, with the reason I did the hard 2 from Whisper, I was looking at all of these A-Wings and going, right, if one of them gets in, then I can get a lot of good shots. If he came in here, then Whisper and Inky would have got some really good shots on there. So there we go. Vader comes in with a 2 bank, has the barrel roll outwards. The idea of the 2 bank was if these guys came in, I can punch them in the face. I can maybe barrel roll out of their arcs as well. So right now, I've got a reasonable engagement. The nice thing is I've scared off the initiative ones. So shots wise, I don't think anyone has any shots, or maybe we've got a shot on the Grand Inquisitor. Whisper doesn't have a shot. Inky doesn't have a shot because it's off the back. This guy doesn't have a shot because same thing. So no shots. Back to Dials. At this point, Whisper's Decloak is now blocked by the Grand Inquisitor, so the likelihood is she's just going to be coming up this way, which is fine because with these A-Wings being where they are, you never want Whisper to dive in. Just replying to Lana Wright, did you miss FCS on Vader? Originally, yes, but having played passive sensors for around basically since it dropped on Vader, I was also dropping passive sensors in the FCS in the first place, so I kind of got used to playing Vader without FCS. For those of you wondering, Vader really burns through his force with passive sensors because he has to take a target lock every single turn, unless you get lucky and you roll all symbols. Likelihood is you're going to be spending the lock, so you can't just rely on your fire control systems every time. The difference is that I don't tend to K-turn Vader as much. Because I don't K Vader as much, then it doesn't hurt me so often not having the FCS. For those of you who like to joust with Vader, coming with the K-turn afterburners, using that fire control system to get the hits on a regular basis, you're really going to miss having the fire controls. Dale Cromwell, School of X-Wing, he loves fire controls on Vader for that reason. Mine is a lot more careful. I find Vader doing a lot of hard turns a lot more often. So because of that, I don't tend to miss the fire controls as much. You can't miss what you can't have, what you never had, is my viewpoint on it. Because I didn't use it as much. So here we go. Bartosz continuing to be a little bit. He's being careful. He knows as well as I do that if my aces get a really good shot, and he was really, really kind here. I missed the decloak. He let me take it. I appreciated that. So there we go. I'd agree with Christopher on that one. By win more, he means that you will win the matchups that you already find easy. So there we go. The A-Wing's boosting away here. Knowing that Whisper is over there, there was only one decloak. So there we go. I mean, the chat in the Junkie stream said I almost forgot. I totally did forget. I think I was chatting too much. It is top 8 at Worlds. Probably a little bit nervous. This, I think, was my most nerve-wracking game of the entire tournament. I know how good Bartosz is with the A-Wings. We've played multiple times before. I would prefer never to have to play him with the A-Wings if I don't have to, because, frankly, it comes down to a coin flip. We're both very good players, and I dislike how much it relies on dice when we come into this game. That's my main problem with playing both with and against the A-Wings, is I find that dice is a massive factor. Not your attack dice, but your opponent's defensive dice if you're playing against the A-Wings, or your defensive dice if you're playing with the A-Wings. Were there flashbacks to Grand Champs? Yes, but they were useful ones. Because I know what Bartosz is going to do. I've got an idea, basically. I know what his ships are going to try and get me with, which is why I didn't commit in hard here, because I was expecting the turn away from everything. And also, Junkie stream noticing Bartosz's arm tattoos. He's got C-3PO on there as well as Padme. It's a really nice artwork. Really nice artwork. Coming in here, essentially, I was hoping that if he did come in, Whisper and Vader could punish. I break him on the Grand Inquisitor as normal. As it is, he calls the trap. Really good decommit from Bartosz there. And he's just delaying the engagement. He's now got all of his ships. He never wants to engage when there's only 3 of his ships against 3 of mine, because mine are scarier, basically. So Grand Inky shoots with 2 dice. He shoots me with 2 dice. Grand Inky spends a force, is safe. That was tally. Grand Inquisitor shooting back with 2 dice because I want to save all my tokens for defense. Doesn't do any damage. Then the other shot from Bartosz gets 2 hits again because it's an A-Wing. And Grand Inky says, I guess I'll spend my focus. and doesn't take any damage. End of round, force redens. Okay, so at this point, I have options, but I also have to be super careful. There are some very clear 2 forwards from these guys or 2 banks. That's the obvious move. They're going to continue to get firepower because Grand Inky has to come forward. So the other option is I can hard 1 Grand Inky up here or hard 2, and just run away from these, which is a possibility, but then all of my ships are in the same place. Whisper and Vader. Now, Vader, I don't know what these guys are going to do. The likelihood is they're probably going to come around the corner, but they could just decommit over here. Bartosz is trying to play in the open, where there's less asteroids to worry about. It's a bit easier for him to boost and barrel and get the blocks in. I know that I need to jump on an A-wing. It doesn't matter which one. I don't actually have a first target here. It's just whichever one presents itself. What I do need is I need to get all of my ships onto the same target. So my thinking here is that Grand Inky has to continue to be evasive. A nice little 1 bank and an evade token should allow him to just carry on tanking shots and basically just keeping these guys occupied. As long as Grand Inquisitor's over here, then these 2 are just going to have to keep on dealing with him. They want to shoot him, which allows Vader and Whisper to do a 2-on-3 against these guys over here. So the idea was, if Vader comes in hot, if Whisper comes in hot, so Whisper can decloak over here and do a 3 bank, or a 1 bank or something like that. Vader can do a 3 bank and maybe get the afterburners boost. Now, unfortunately, I just miss it. You can see here, I think my hand's in the way, but it was about a millimeter onto the rock. It was super close, but didn't fit. Bartosz should just make sure it goes back exactly where it was. So I don't get the decloak, which is kind of a big deal. What you'll see in a second is my actual move was a 2 hard. The reason for that is because I looked at it and I believe my thinking was, I'm not sure that fits. I need to make sure I don't go over the rock this turn. So a 2 hard followed by a barrel roll allows me an escape route if the decloak didn't fit. It didn't fit, and therefore it's not terrible. It's not the worst thing in the world. The idea here was I think I was planning on getting Whisper behind the A-Wings. So decloak there, hard 2. I can always shoot. I can always barrel roll. You can do whatever. But hey, I messed it up. So screw up on my counts. There's the 2 forwards. The 2 hards there were fairly obvious. This one I wasn't sure of. Turns out it's a hard 2 coming around the corner, waiting for the Inquisitor to come around. So we then do Inky. Sorry, Whisper next. 3 hard. There we go. So 3 hard doesn't hit the rock. At which point I really don't want to get shot. So my thinking here is if I get the decloak hard 3, then next turn I can decloak forwards, do the 1 hard, and get around the back, or just decloak backwards 1 hard and get some good shots on. As it was, barrel roll out the way. I've got the cloak. I've got a force for my defense. If I'm only taking a single shot from an A-wing, that's fine. And I know that Vader is coming in aggressive here, so Vader's going to be taking the heat and not Whisper. This allows me lots of decloak options for sideways if I'd like to. Grand Inky coming in here. Not sure if this guy's in range. Probably is in range. Doesn't have a crack shot because he's initiative 1. I take an evade token and just go, okay, I should be able to tank this. I've got the force. Vader comes in and just make sure that we get Whisper out of the way here. There we go, just get Whisper out of the way. So nice and easy. Vader in there. Whisper goes back. At which point I consider afterburners because I can get a range 1 shot here. I would like to do the afterburners. The problem is with afterburners is if I put myself a little bit further forwards, all of these A-Wings turn on Vader next turn. It's a really easy trap for Bartosz to set. Also, if I come in, I'm trading range 1 shots onto Vader from this guy, and if he doesn't spend his focus on defense, which is a possibility, then I'm in trouble because suddenly Vader's taking damage he doesn't have to. Right now, I think it's a range 3 shot from this guy and a range 2 shot from this guy. Vader shouldn't take any damage. He'll spend some force, but he won't take any damage, which is really important. Whereas Vader shooting into here should do a shield. If I get lucky, he'll do 2 shields. That's the idea. So I take a focus and lock. I know that I'm going to get 3 hits. I know that Bartosz's average dice should be 1.5. And there we go. So that's the idea. So get some shots coming in. Vader says have 3 hits because Vader does Vader things. So spends the target lock, rerolls that. Spends a force instead of the focus because I think I might need the focus for defense. I am taking a range 3 shot after all. So we basically they forgot to change the dice count for this. You can see here that there is 2 shields taken on the A-wing. Bartosz got very unlucky. He got a single focus, the worst roll in the world for the just single evade because he didn't spend his focus. But he does take 2 shields. So lucky Vader shot, spends the force for it. Not bad. A-wing shooting back, shooting at Grand Inky. So spends the evade and doesn't take any. I think I got one evade. I got an eyeball as just an eyeball myself. Really bad evade roll. Bartosz gets unlucky, just a single focus. He doesn't want to spend it because otherwise the Grand Inquisitor can actually do damage to the A-wing. Grand Inquisitor says, "Thank you very much. I'm absolutely fine with this." These guys now shooting. He's got options on Vader, so he takes a shot on Vader. Heroic into 2 hits because that's what A-wings do. So that was the guy at the back. So I get 4 dice. I spend the focus because I'm trying to manage my force as much as possible. If I can, I know I've got 1 force. It's likely from the range 1 I'm only going to get 1 eyeball. If I can get away with not having to spend any force on the next one, that'd be great. As it is, we roll some dice. We get 2 natural evades, which is really nice. So I keep my force relatively low. Talking to Lana back on the FCS point, that's the idea there. You got the whole idea that force is a resource that you need to save, and it's very important to do so. All right, I'm going to leave you guys to have a think about this next turn. I just need to pop off to the toilet very quickly. So have a think about where you think these ships are going to go, and then I will talk you through it when I get back. Alrighty then. There we go. So sorry, just linking Death Ride. Thanks for mentioning you wanted to do this game. I've been forgetting to post today. Well, it's good to see. Sorry, for those of you that don't know, Death Revived is X-Men Junkies. Heyo. And he's the one that was allowing me to play this awesome game on stream. How often does Inky's ability come into play? Every single turn. Either on offense or defense. Inky is most of the time using his ability. The reason that I'm not using his ability right now is because I have to go super defensive. Normally, when he's not taking all the shots in the world, he is using his ability on offense, just a single force and take the focus, and then he's still got the force for defense if he needs it. But that's the idea. So, moving through, let's just skip through here. Let's get the dials on the table nice and quickly. This is the really important turn. This is make or break, because Bartosz has got some A-Wings in his blockers. He's got some around here. These guys are a problem because they're pointing away. The great thing about A-Wings is that they have so much time on target because you can turn the arcs backwards. The problem with A-Wings is that as soon as you do that, you do have to spend a turn coming back around. So he, at some point, is going to have to disengage with Tally and Greer. Tally and Greer. His crack shots aren't being used right now because he's pointing away from me, which is really, really useful. So yeah, the idea here is I need to make sure that I do as much damage as possible whilst taking as little as possible. Vader is in a bit of a tight spot for Whisper because I can't be decloaking this way, but with these two A-Wings being where they are, I wouldn't be doing that anyway. The obvious move from Whisper is I decloak over here and do a 3 hard around the rock. Because of that, Bartosz is probably not going to stay around this area, otherwise he's going to get whispered. The likely target here is Grand Inquisitor, because he's in a spot that can be taken advantage of. 2 hard around the asteroid here, some 3 banks and boosts and stuff in to block him. He's not in the best spot in the world, but he does have the advantage of these guys being a long way away. So we'll just skip through a little bit and we'll see where we end up. So, decloaks. Once I work out where Inky's going. I spent a long time thinking about where Inky's going this turn, just to talk through my things. If these A-Wings are going to come in here, I could just turn away completely. Seriously considered it, because at this point Vader is going to be threatening. If these A-Wings decide to come in here, then Vader can't really do a short move. My thinking here is that Whisper is going to threaten if the A-Wings come in for the block, which is fine. Whisper does 3 hard around, takes passive sensors. This guy's already hurt. Probably could kill him. If I get a range 1 on him, I can kill him. On average dice at least. Because I get 4 hits, he gets 2 evades with the eyeball, and then he dies. So I don't think he can risk coming in. Because of that, I expect him to come down here. I've actually dialed in a 3 bank with Vader. My thinking was, if Vader does a 3 bank and gets blocked, there isn't much effective firepower coming into him. He's still got 2 force points for defense. He should be fine. I've also already got target lock, which is nice. If the 3 bank does fit, then there is a chance that I can murder this guy. If Bartosz doesn't put him in the correct place, I might be able to afterburners and get a shot on him, take him off the board. Really worth it. With Inky, I then have 2 options. I can run away completely and make sure I don't take damage, or I can go forwards and try and chase these guys down a little bit and hopefully dodge some of the shots coming in here. I can go fast. Alternatively, I can turn in and try and mitigate the damage from these guys, barrel roll backwards maybe, but also I might get a shot on him who is damaged. I believe that's the option that I went for, thinking that Bartosz probably couldn't get the block on me as he came around the corner. So Bartosz was kind enough to do the whistle decloak for me. There he goes, forwards as far as possible, because the 3 hard is coming in. And we go from here. So here comes A-Wing. Didn't see the 5 forwards. That was a really good move. Yeah, that was a pain in the ass. I was expecting him to do something else. As it is, 5 forward appears. I was hoping he wouldn't boost. He does the barrel roll instead, thinking that maybe I've gone for a 3 hard, which would make sense. 3 hard would have been a good option to keep Inky out of trouble. But I decided that Inky is still fully healthy. He hasn't taken any shields yet. I can just sit there and tank things. Problem is, as I was feeling smug about myself, he then decides to go for the boost, just in case I did the one bank. And it does also catch the one hard as well. So really good block from Bartosz here. I was feeling really satisfied when he decided to barrel roll his ship, and then he went and ruined my day with the boost anyway. So good job, good block. Coming from there, what have we got? So this guy just does the boost and the focus. He has still got a target lock on him though, which Bartosz has covered up with a stress token. Not illegal, but I like it. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it's quite clever. Maybe you'll forget your target lock if you cover it up with a stress token. A little bit of gamesmanship going on there. Every little helps. One forwards, stress focus. Yep, continuing to do that. This guy is stressed. Not sure where the stress token went from there, but it's around. Possibly this one over here. Unsure. A-Wings decided that they had to turn around eventually. They've got to do it at some point. So there we go. Does the one... Oh, Bartosz getting a little bit nervous here. There we go. So comes around the corner. That's Tally. Continues to get the... Let's just check that 1 second. Is that Greer? No, that's Greer. Yeah, so Greer comes on the corner, gets the free flip, does the boost, does the focus. Tally comes around, just stays backwards. Inky tries the hard one, realizes his life is made of mistakes, and crashes slap bang into the right of the A-Wing. Sad times. Is still relatively happy because of the fact that he... I mean, he's hit one, so it's not shooting him. He's probably out of range of Tally here, and I'm only getting shot by 2. The problem is I'm getting shot by one of them range 1, which is an issue, but I still have force available for defense, so I've got 2 force. I'm only expecting to take 1 or 2 shields here maximum, which is fine as long as I do enough damage to A-Wings. So Inky goes there. He's got a range 1 shot. There we go. The stress token was from that guy. And hard 3. So Whisper comes around, isn't really relevant this turn because Bartosz decided to decommit. But because he decided to decommit, he couldn't really do anything with these guys. So I'm okay with that. Whisper has spent a couple of turns out of the game because I missed that decloak. But I think it's less because I missed the decloak and more because Bartosz has been super careful to keep his A-Wings away from the scary ship with the focus target locks. He's done a really good job of just trying to keep Whisper out of the game. But because of that, he hasn't got as many shots as he could have done. I really wanted to do my own 3 bank here, so I did. There we go. So yeah, does a 3 bank. Bartosz knows this move's important. So 3 bank. I'm not going to be able to get the curve boost in here with the afterburners, which is why that move was so important. But I can get a forward straight boost in, and because it's Vader, I can get barrel rolls. So we got the focus on Tally there. He rotates it. He didn't rotate. He just cleared the stress, took the focus. So what we can then do, and I'm just thinking about this. Basically, I'm thinking about whether or not the barrel roll is going to clear Vader's nose. Because I know I can boost straight forwards. That's not a problem. Is he going to be able to turn out of it next turn with the barrel roll? He goes 1 forwards. He then does the barrel roll. I'll skip through my thought process here because we know it fits. So he does a 1 forwards. He then does the barrel roll, spends the afterburners to do the boost. Barrel roll 1 action. Far back as possible. Focus 2nd action. And then target lock for the 3rd. I forgot how many force points this takes. Thank you, Bartosz, for reminding me of that one. We get to that in a second. So we flip that one, and then Bartosz is like, wait a second, that cost you more force. You only had 2 to start off with. I already had the target lock on the table, which is, I think, what I forgot. So then, yeah, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, 2nd force flipped. All good. And Right then, Vader does nasty things to A-Wings. It's totally worth taking a single shot here. I'm taking a shot from Greer, but that's fine. It's range 3. Vader gets a crit on that one, rerolls that with the target lock, and spends his focus making sure he gets the 4 because I need to do as much damage as humanly possible. Bartosz spends the focus, he gets the average, eyeball, evade, and he takes 2 shields. So this one is also down 2 shields now. Or maybe even, no, 1 shield. He only took 1 shield there. He got lucky. He got triple symbols. So only takes 1 shield on Zari. So Zari is now down to 1 shield. Now, my thinking here is with Inky. I have a ship that I can halve. So I just want to talk you through that shot. So Tally doesn't have a shot at range out of arc. Inky has a shot at, and I decided to take the shot at the A-wing without focus. I'm keeping my force for defense, so I don't spend it for the range bonus. But I roll. You can see. So I take my 2 dice. I roll 2 dice, and I roll an eyeball and a hit. Now, average dice on A-wings, you should get an evade, an eyeball, and a blank. My thinking here is I spend a single force, and I do a single damage. If I do a single point of damage, I have now halved 2 A-wings. I've got 40 points. If he halves Inky this turn, fine. He gets 26. I'm up in points. I need to keep on doing that. I just need to keep on trading positively. Because of the fact that Vader spent the focus, I spent an afterburners charge. It was a big hit. I need to make sure I capitalize on these opportunities. And because of the fact that I did get 2 symbols with Inky, for me, it's worth it. Spending that force to probably get another shield off and get that half points. At which point, I'm taking a range 1 shot back. If I spend the force to reduce the agility at range 1, to reduce the dice at range 1, he's shooting me with 2 dice. He has optics. He'll probably get 2 hits. My average roll is an evade. I'll take a shield from the range 1 shot. I shouldn't take a shield from the guy at the back because the guy at the back is probably only going to do a single hit on average, and I should get a single evade. So what I'm doing here is I'm basically saying, right, if everything averages out, I do a damage. I might even get 2 if I get lucky. But I do a damage and I should take 1 shield. If I take 2 shields, it's still acceptable because I've done 2 damage to an A-wing and I'm now up on points. So I spend that. Bartosz rolls some dice. He gets a single evade. He takes a shield. I'm now up on points because I have half points and 2 A-wings. This was the worrying one for me. It is range 3 in the end, I believe. So I get the bonus dice, which is nice because Vader then rolls some evades. I think he might have taken a shield here. Can't remember. So yeah, we get this guy out of the way because this is important. If it's a range 2 shot, it's likely that Vader could take some decent firepower here. Down the cardboard, it's really, really close. So Judge calls it. You get the wonderful side face of that Zach Matthews here. And I believe it was a range 3 in the end because of the cardboard. That was the idea. So yeah, that's the result there. What you end up with after this round of combat is a bit of a furball, which kind of suits me. The idea would be is that as long as his A-wings can't get too many effective shots on target, that's good for me. I take a shield on Vader. Yep, take 1 shield because he gets 2 hits. I get 1 evade. And then we get some shots into Inky. I've already spent 1 force. So that was the... Not sure what that was. Yeah. That was that one. Okay, so Bartosz... he got 2 hits with the range 3 one. He got 1 hit with the range 2 one. I only got a single eyeball, less than average. So I spend the force to make sure I don't take the too much damage. And then he got two hits out of hand with that one, and I only get a single eyeball. So I spend the force to take 1 damage. At which point Bartosz only gets a single hit with a range 1 optics A-wing. not ideal. And then I dodge it because I got lucky. So the end of the round, the average happened, but it felt bad for Bartosz because he got lucky on this one and then got unlucky on that one. That was the damage I was expecting to take, but because it happened in that order, it kind of feels bad. But there we go. So this is now a mess, an absolute mess. All of the ships have decent options for shots. All of them have decent options for blocks. Whisper is just not even present at the moment. I have a few options for Whisper. Decloak forwards and do the hard. Just decloak forwards and tank the rock was a genuine option. Decloak sideways and do a hard turn, or decloak sideways and do a 4 forwards was also a good option because I don't know where these guys are going. But Whisper playing with A-Wings is normally a bad idea. Even though Whisper wasn't shooting as much right now, I wasn't actually too unhappy with that, because as soon as Whisper starts taking 2 dice, 2 dice, 2 dice, 2 dice, she just goes down. So she has to be very cagey in these games, stay on the outside, take range 2 or range 3 shots. Only dive into range 1 when you know you're not taking too much. So Inky and Vader have been the break here. They've taken some shields, but they're fine. I'm up on points, so I've got about 40 points. At this point, thinking on Inky, Inky isn't really sure where he's going to go. I know that normally what I would do is I would plan 2 forwards, because I know that if I land where an A-Wing is, it's unlikely to be blocked. However, this one's Greer. Because that's Greer, that's Zari. Because that's Zari can just crash and not care, get all the actions anyway. So there was a possibility that he'd just do a hard one into Vader and stay there, get rear arc shots. So I couldn't risk that. I could completely decommit, but if you think about where these guys are going to go, you could do a hard 2 up this way, 2 bank up this way, turn the rear arc. This guy could do a 2 bank down here, block all of Inquisitor's turn options and do a rear arc. These guys could come in here. At the end of the day, I wasn't sure, so I believe I decided to do a 1 bank and just pray. Sometimes doing the short move and just hoping to get out of dodge is a good idea. Probably should have just gone away at this point, or maybe even a 5 forwards. There was a few good options. I think a 3 bank might have been a good shout, but then again, you can do a hard 2 from here and it could block 2 bank. Inky's in trouble essentially. So because Inky's in trouble, what I now need to do is I now need to make sure that I either kill an A-Wing or I halve it. If I can do that, then the idea is I'm up on points even if Inky dies. And that's really, really key, because with these guys, it's a damage race. If you're doing more damage to the A-Wings than they're doing back to you, you win the game. I know that seems silly because that's exactly how X-Wing works, but it's more of it in this case. If you stop shooting, you lose the game. You have to constantly get shots on target and constantly be doing damage to these things. So those are my thoughts there. Let's just skip through the really long planning phase because I was trying to make sure that Inky didn't get shot, as you can see, taking the longest time on Inky dial again. So like just doing my best to work out all of the options, work out the least likely possibility for where Bartosz is going to put his A-Wings, and I will try and slot Inky in there to at least attempt to get an evade or a focus and just dodge as many arcs as possible. Once we've done that, you can see that Bartosz is also thinking really quite hard about this. Just before you go, have a think of Vader. I can't go slow. There's a very obvious 2 bank or 2 hard in here. If I go anywhere here, I will get blocked. If I go 1 forwards, there's also a very good likelihood of getting blocked. If I go 5 forwards, that's where everyone expects me to go. So that could also get blocked. I decided to dial in the 4. Basically, Tally is out on a limb here. With a 4 forwards, if Tally just turns the corner and boosts, then I might have the option of burners-ing to get Tally and get some shots on. Alternatively, I can just get out of dodge. If I do the 5 forwards and get blocked, then Vader is incredibly sad and he probably dies. He's only got 1 force here. Doesn't want that. So I decide to do the 4 because thinking about, as we were saying previously, that's where this ship is. If you dial in a move that is where your opponent's ships are, it's very unlikely to get blocked because your opponent doesn't tend to think of putting his ships where his present ships are. So that was my thinking, is that 4 forward should plonk me right there. the one bank and boost and roll is the only thing that blocks it, and I don't think he would have done that. Or if he was going to do that, he'd plan for the 5 and not the 4. So that was the idea there. So yeah, that's my thinks. Lots of thinking on Inquisitor, and there we go. So 2/4 decloak. Everyone checking that everything fits. Yep, there we go. X-Wing team game, yada yada yada. How many people does it take to do one decloak? Puts me on the rock because. So 2 forwards. Could have done a bank there. Probably would have been a better move to a 1 bank. But hey, I think I did the 1 hard. That's because I'm thinking that these A-wings over here are going to come around the corner. Yep, this guy in here does the 2 hard, sits there, turns his arc backwards, looks for shots on Inky. He is the damaged one as well, so he's only got 2 health remaining. This one's got 2 health remaining. This one is untouched. So the ones I want to kill are these 2 right in here. So if I can get a shot, that would be ideal. Bartosz having to think about boosts and moves and stuff and where he wants to block. He decides to barrel roll and turn the arc backwards, so he does not have a token right now. And we get a 2 bank in from that A-wing. And we get a, there we go, 1 and a rotate from there. We get Zari coming around, gets the free rotate and just takes a focus. So there we go. And then Tally comes in here. And then Bartosz is now thinking about all of the possible blocking options. So he goes in here and thinks, right, that's going to block the 5 forwards. That will be the perfect move. Because I can block him right in the arc. He's looking at this one and going, right, is that going to fit? No, I need to make sure I get a shot. I want to shoot Vader if he comes in. If he 3 banks away, then that's going to get a good shot on him. So Tally sits there, rotates the arc, and doesn't take a focus token because he wants a shot if Vader comes around the corner. Inky, what has Inky done? I mean, this was a coin flip on whatever move I'm going to do here. Does 3 bank, and Bartosz has blocked 3 bank. So good call. If I'd have done the 1, it would have slotted perfectly, and I would have got a shot, focus target lock onto a focusless A-wing. As it is, it crashes. Good block from Bartosz. Should have just gone short because no one expects you to go short, but oh well. So definitely doesn't fit. Slot it in there. We'll be taking range 1 shots from a very angry Greer who has a crack shot because I'm an idiot. There we go. So we pop that there. A1 goes back in here. Nice. So at this point, Inky's in trouble. Probably going to die. He's taking a range 1 shot. Basically, he's going to take 2 health. That's the idea here. He will take 2 health. Whisper, on the other hand, says, thank you very much. I think I'll take a shot on that tokenless A-wing. So I could have taken a passive sensors here, and I could have shot this guy with passive sensors. Probably range 2. I'm expecting to do a single shield. I could have shot this guy. He is feeling fairly unhealthy. However, I have an A-wing over here. A-wing over here has no focus token. My average dice say I get 2 hits. He gets 1 evade, and I can get crits in. So if I have a crit, I could die. If I get he could die. If I get lucky, I might get 3 hits, which is amazing. We like that. And thanks, Rob. We like follows. And Panda Girl Gaming. Yay, missed you. Sorry. Thank you, Panda Girl Gaming. So we do the roll. We get some shots. We make sure we don't get shot by things. And importantly, we have a shot onto this A-wing here. Vader goes, surprise, and does the 4 forwards. At which point Bartosz is pretty sad. I got lucky. I call him. Sometimes you just got to go for it. Slots right into the gap. You can see there that if it was the 5 forwards, it would have crashed straight into Tally. He got the good eyeball there. Sometimes it's better just to do a little bit faster or slower. than your opponent is expecting because you can catch him off guard. I tried it, it worked. He takes a focus, he takes a target lock because that is a tokenless A-Wing. I tried to give Tally a focus there, it's actually on Vader. But yeah, so that's the idea there. And Vader gets angry. So average dice, re-rolls, that one goes into a crit, re-rolls the blank into a target, into a something. Yeah, gets the hit and spends the focus. 4 hits into a tokenless A-Wing is good news because average says 3. And Bartosz gets the 1 evade and he draws a direct hit and Vader initiative kills Tally. That was incredibly lucky. I mean, average dice says that the A-Wing should take 3 damage there. It doesn't mean it dies. I wasn't expecting to finish off Tally by any means. I was expecting to do 2 shields and halve it. That's fine. Vader probably takes a shield back. That's a good trade. Again, I'm up on points. That makes it 60. Was I expecting to kill him? No, not at all. But I'll take it. Can't complain. Whisper then has a shot onto so that's damage initiative 1. Whisper gets 3 out of hand, spends the force, and Bartosz only gets 1 evade again. That's the thing, the A-Wings will get 1 evade, but if you get lucky in your attack dice and suddenly 2 A-Wings dead. Unfortunate. Inky rolls 3 out of hand again. This guy, crit, decides not to spend the focus because he's got his focus there. Bartosz gets 2 evades. Does he? No, he doesn't. He gets 1 evade, takes a shield. I spend both force. I take a hit. That's fine because it was getting crack shotted anyway. So Inky takes a shield down to half health. This guy out the butt gets 2 hits, takes another point of damage. I forgot about that guy in terms of my calculations. But yeah, so and Inky dodges. So Inky should have died there. Inky definitely should have died. But I was expecting to be up on points anyway. So if Inky dies and I kill an A-Wing, which was basically I was either halving here or killing here. So likelihood was I was going to end up with an A-Wing down versus Inky down, which isn't terrible for me. As it was, I got lucky on killing Inky. At that point, that's a massive swing. I have all 3 of my ships alive. Even if Inquisitor is on 1 health, he's still alive on 1 health. So he just says, nope, I'm not playing this game anymore. And Vader and Whisper go ham on killing A-Wings. Whisper can now get aggressive. This one is halved. This one, so Greer is halved. So if I get a range 1 shot on Greer, I'm fairly confident I can kill him. Vader now just goes away and regens force. Inky goes away and regens force. Likelihood is this guy will probably just be coming in here. So if I just go short, yeah, that's the idea. So it was a swing, but I don't think it was that much of a swing. This is my point about range 1 shots. If you keep on getting range 1 shots with your big angry aces, you're eventually going to get lucky. The way that this is probably my 15th game against these guys, against the A-Wings. I've had a lot of practice games against them. And in the ones that I win, I leverage Vader and I leverage Whisper. I get them to range 1 as often as possible. If I'm trading shots, that's fine, as long as I'm getting those big range 1 hammers in. So that was the idea in this game. I just had to get Vader stuck in as early as possible. Start murderizing things as much as I could. So Bartosz would have loved to do the boost here, but he has to have a focus token. So he rotates his arc forwards, gets the focus. Greer comes in there because he doesn't want to die. So yeah, basically likelihood is I've got a 33% chance of a crit. So I was expecting to either do, I was expecting to half tally, so that was a given, and maybe I can get a crit in there. I was expecting to do 1 damage to the A-wing on 2 health, so I was expecting to get a crit in there, and you roll the chances on the crits, and hopefully one of them dies. I was definitely expecting to get 60 points, at which point I was expecting Inquisitor to die, so that would be up on points. Yes, but 2 of your ships are on 1 health with a crit on them. So yeah, it's like if it isn't a dead crit, then it is at least a crit that means that they're crippled, and I can probably finish off with Whisper or Inky. I agree. I agree, Ken. I got lucky, but hey, roll dice. Um, so yeah. And at this point, I carry on getting lucky because Whisper does very, very bad things to A-wing and just rolls for a hand. At which point, average dice on the A-wing, it dies, and it does. And yeah, that's game over. Um, there was a chance, and I like that's the thing. Bartosz put his ships in the correct position here. For those of you wondering, Kanek is Bartosz. Yeah, Bartosz put his ships in absolutely the correct position here. He got good shot on Whisper that turn. He could very realistically have done 2 damage to Whisper that turn, but he had to survive to do it, and the dice swing my way once again. I think this game was a summary of the swings that could have gone 50-50 either way, all went in my favor. If they go 50-50, this game is ridiculously close. With the board positioning, it would have been a very interesting finish to that game, because Vader is definitely going down to half at some point soon. Inky is dead. It relies on how much damage Whisper can do to finish off the A-wings. At which point Bartosz runs for the hills because of looking at the amount of time. The no, it's you're not salty, man. It's entirely legit. Like, I one shot an A-wing. That doesn't happen. Like, you've got heroic. It shouldn't happen. But yeah, so it's one of those things. Like, as Bartosz is saying, like, the dice were definitely a factor in this game, and all of those flips that you expect to go one your way, one the other, from any point of like 50 minutes into the game, they all went my way. Which, first of all, is what you need to be A-wings. Secondly, it's never going to be a good day if that happens. So, for those of you wondering, say hello to the 186th. They were all spectating from up top, and yeah. Yeah, it's really nice having the flags next to the names. They asked me if I wanted a British flag. Nope. Get the UK flag in there. I should have gone with an EU flag, really, shouldn't I? I should have gone with an EU flag. It would have been good. Yeah, I really enjoyed this game. It was just, I always say this. It's a shame when dice decide an outcome. I would love a rematch. Hopefully not in the world's top 8, so we can just have some fun. But I want to play Bartosz again, doing this, and I'm curious to see what would happen if the dice averaged out a little bit more. Because this next few turns is just a factor of, okay, let's just tidy up. There's 2 A-wings left on the table, 17 minutes left. If I take the foot off the throat, then I could lose it. So let's just carry on and make sure that I do bad things. Whisper decides. I thought maybe he was going that way with the A-wing, as it was A-wing came that way. So Whisper is just keeping points now. I know I've got a hell of a lot of points. If Whisper stays healthy, I win the game. So Inky and Vader can go and chase down A-wings to their heart's content. So they do that. Fairly sure that this turn was basically no firepower, no damage. Not really important. Now, looking at this turn, A-wing's coming in. probably going to go for the block. This one coming in here, Vader has to turn this way. If I go that way, I'm going to get blocked. I would love to be coming to Polish Nats Bartosz. I really want to. The problem is that I start working again and they own my soul during term time. I'm hoping to go to. There is a event in Lille on the one of the early late weekends in November. But I'm going to be over in Switzerland helping out my friend at a event there. So if you guys are in Europe and you fancy checking out Hero Fest, then come say hi. I'm going to be doing some intro style games there, hopefully, and get that sorted. Hopefully FFG can give me some stuff for that. That'd be nice. So yeah, we're going to be doing some X-Wing intros at Hero Fest. I need to talk to some of the Swiss about that. Anyway, carrying on. Started flying this last week. Real first attempt for me flying imps. Have been flying Sinker Swarm. It's a steep learning curve on engagements. Yeah, I have had 5 years worth of practice at flying aces, so that helps. Engagements are an exercise in patience, and you need to know when to go aggressive and when to hedge all of your moves. Normally, it depends on how much firepower your opponent's list has. If it has more than you, then hedge all of your engagements. If it has less than you, then go aggressive. What you'll notice is... Stop getting salty, Chris. Stop getting salty. We both made it. It's but yeah, so in this game you'll notice that I only got aggressive with my aces when it was a 1-on-1 or a 2-on-1. If there's lots of aimings coming onto one ace, then I tried to hedge with that ace or get him out of trouble. Basically that was Inky for the entire game. So he's got the idea, Ken's got the idea here of this A-Wing is coming to expected move. Yeah, Switzerland is expensive land. However, my buddy is paying for my flights, so that's quite nice. So I can't complain there. No, I was expecting both A-Wings to be over here. Whisper doesn't matter. Just doesn't decloak, does the hard one. La 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 la. Barrel rolls. Ready for coming around the rock next turn. Just in case that's important. And Vader and Whisper gang up on a very sad A-Wing. Takes the target lock. It's got a range 1 focus lock. Vader, hard 3, comes around the corner. Yeah, there we go, hard 3. And so, just an exercise in caution here. I still don't want to lose the game. There is 15-ish minutes left on the clock. I could stay there and joust, but why would I when I can just barrel out of arc? He's still got crack shots. Don't waste it. Yeah. There we go. And just so that's an example of you take the opportunity to not get shot when you don't have to. Because yeah, why not? Anyway, reroll that goes to a crit. Reroll that one. We get 4 hits. A-Wing says 2 shields. Takes face up damage. And then Inky says, well, I'm going to shoot you right in the butt. And I think that's a dead 8. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, there we go. All hits again. I mean, I have got the focus lock, but it'd be nice of me to use it. At which point, yeah, Bartosz concedes because there's nothing you can do there. Big thank you to Ken for that game. It feels really bad when you don't get those dice swings. So he held it together pretty well considering it was top 8 at Worlds. I have no problems playing against Bartosz. I just really, it's nice to not have to play him in the cut because it's so damn stressful. But yeah, next time we can play either round 1 of Swiss or we can play a round 7 of Swiss when it doesn't matter, please. But no, it's a real shame I don't get to play against him more because he's a really good pilot and yeah. We shouldn't meet in the final because then you'll beat me and I'll be super sad. Just there we go. And not a problem, Panago Gaming. Glad you enjoy the reviews. Uh, but yeah, I'm gonna give Bartosz a little cuddle next time I see him because I think he needs it, and you know, there we go. Anyway, thank you guys. That's it from me. And yeah, it's almost 6 o'clock, so I need to go and cook some dinner. But I will check in with you guys tomorrow. These are permanently up, yes. So you can't see them on Twitch, but you can see them on my YouTube channel. If you go to youtube.com/c/Ollie_186, you will see every single one of my videos. Hey, no problems, man. You earned that dice. I've said it before, so I want to say it on stream. If I didn't beat Bartosz in the top 8, he would have won it. Yeah. I don't see Dan Taylor or um, Mitch Raab. Just the lists don't have it to. Yeah, I don't think they have it. They can't. Their lists cannot kill A wings. The Star Vipers have the best chance, but if Bartosz got to the final, I think he just would have murdered Mitch. Murdered Dan Taylor. Dan is a phenomenal pilot, but I don't think his list could stand up against the A-wings. Wedge dies quickly, and then yeah, it's over. So that's the idea. Anyway, I will catch you guys later. I'm going to be doing another one of these tomorrow. You can check out my YouTube channel to see all of these online at any time if you want to go back over them. And yeah, I think that's it. So you can look forward to my top 4 game against Mitch Raab in the Star Vipers tomorrow. Yeah, they are like phantoms, but they don't hit as hard because they don't have juke. Crackshot's annoying. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one.